Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Lorenzo, your host, your friend, your coach. Today, I have another amazing guest for us, Mr. Mal. How do I say your last name?
Ratna.
Viratna. Thank you very much. Pleased to meet you. And he's a very interesting man, very decorated, from coming to us from London, United Kingdom. We got connected to our good friend Stephen Gillett. We had a beautiful chat last week, almost 2 hours. Got to know him, his story, and what a story. And in a nutshell, he's one of the most sought after experts and tantric therapy and massages. And he's done that for 40 years. He's also been teaching others how to do that. And now he's looking
30
to,
years.
sorry,
30 years.
30 years. Sorry, I'm giving an extra 10 years. I'm very generous. It's Christmas, almost. My birthday next week. That's all right. My birthday next Friday, so it's okay. That's fine. But anyway, and now he's looking to expand and share his gift loud and proud by opening schools around the world and franchising them first in the UK and then around the world. We talked about that last time, and that's among many many other amazing things that he's been up to. And yeah, he's got an amazing story. And at one time, he thought he was at the top, but then he lost it. Literally, he went to prison for a year and a half. And that was, as we talked last week, a blessing in disguise to really allow him to reflect and bounce back higher, better, and wiser than ever before. And that's all of the things we're going to unpack. And I have a feeling that this is going to be a multi-series episode because there's so much that we can uncover with this gentleman. But first, let's start. First of all, Mal, brother, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure's all mine. So we're going to talk about your business, your achievements, and all that in a moment and during the podcast. But first, what I'd like to know and what my audience wants to know is who's Mal as a person, as a human being, and as a man before the businessman?
Well, Mal originally is a born healer. And then came to London to study, educated, did my BSc honors degree in biophysical science, did my operations management in DMS. Then I did my MBA in business management. So that was all to please my parents. I studied, but my passion was about bodywork and massage and Tantra. So I was a born healer. And
Ah,
then after that, later in my life, I got into the area that I really passionate about working and teaching and healing. So that's my story.
beautiful. And we're going to unpack that. So, first of all, I'd like to start with asking you a series of rapid fire questions. Ready?
Yeah.
What makes you happy as a person?
What makes me happy is by connecting to myself, uh, by knowing myself very deeply, and without having any concern about what other people perceive about me, because that doesn't concern me at all, as long as I know who I am and I know what I do with a pure heart and a consciousness. So
Beautiful.
that's what who I am.
Love that. Now,
That's what makes me happy.
now you have a beautiful, warm smile. Tell us, what makes you smile?
You smile when you get rid of your sadness from your body,
Mhm.
cellular memory due to past trauma. Everyone can smile and be happy. Why they can't is because they have got stagnant negative emotions called sadness embedded in the body cellular memory due to various things that has happened in their past life due to past trauma. So when you can get in touch with this past, whether it's sadness, fear, anger, shame, mistrust, guilt, whatever the emotion that you have in your body, it's all due to past trauma. When you are able to get in touch with this past trauma, which is embedded in your body, cellular memory, not in the brain, not in the mind, then once you transform the negative sadness, what will remain in your body will make space in the body for happiness. And that's what I have done.
Love that. Speaking of happiness, let's take the happiness a couple of notches higher. What makes your heart sing? What sets your soul on fire?
It makes me, when I do things to the best of my ability to help myself and humanity. That gives me great, great pleasure by being able to help other people to help themselves, not to help other people, but to help other people to help themselves. There's a difference here. Because if I help people, whether it's financially, emotionally, spiritually, then they will depend on me and they will be disempowered. So my strategy is to help people to help themselves, and that way they empower themselves. So that's my passion. That's what keeps me going with this work that I do.
Love that. Love that. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, what makes you sad and angry?
Okay. What makes me angry is there are two people that I fear in life. One is the God
Oh, yeah.
or somebody higher myself. I fear
Mhm.
that person because I don't want to upset that person because that person will punish me. So I fear. And the next person is the ignorant person.
Mm.
Ignorant person is very dangerous
I love that. Yes.
because there are there are four people in the society.
Mm.
There's an ignorant person who is a lazy ignorant person or hardworking ignorant person, and there's an intelligent lazy person and intelligent hardworking person. So I find the most productive person, if you ask, they will say intelligent hardworking person. Wrong. The most productive person is the intelligent lazy person because that person will get everyone else to work. He will create an atmosphere. Everyone is happy and they are working, and that's the intelligent lazy person. And the most dangerous person is the ignorant hardworking person because they will destroy the whole planet because they're ignorant and they work very hard to destroy everything that we beautifully create.
You're too blinded by the
I
greed.
fear these two people. Yeah,
I love
God and the ignorant person.
I love that. That's so powerful. I took that as a note. That's gonna be a code worthy. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, what scares you?
Nothing fears me because fear can only be triggered on someone if they
Mm.
have fear molecules of emotions in their body. If you compare me to an average person, I have less fear, less anger, less shame, less guilt, less sadness
Mhm.
because I have transformed my negative stagnant emotions in the body to positive emotions. So I'm always happy, I don't get angry, and people think that I'm kind of a unusual person because this is who I am all the time, every day.
Love that. Now, what is one thing that you used to value that you don't value anymore?
What I value,
It can be
I value,
yeah, go ahead.
no, I value, the most important thing that I value is freedom.
Mm.
Freedom for myself and for freedom for everyone else. Freedom of speech, freedom of action, freedom of creativity. Once you suppress this freedom, then of course you don't allow the energy to flow freely. So I value freedom for me and everybody else on the planet. Because through
Mhm.
this freedom, we can create a beautiful space. As soon as you restrict yourself for whatever that is for reasons, you restrict because of your own insecurities.
Mm.
But if you dissolve your insecurities, you can give your freedom to yourself and to everyone else in the planet. And it's the freedom that will allow free migration, free creativity, free of everything in life. Restrictions will minimize or
Love that.
diminish.
Love that. Love that. Love that. What is one thing that you did not uh, that you did not value before, but that now you're valuing more and more?
Hmm. I'm always a free person. I've never been not free.
Mm.
Uh, Nobody has can take my freedom away. uh, no authorities can take my freedom away because the freedom belongs to me. Only I can take my freedom away.
Mm,
Nelson Mandela was in prison for 25 years, but he was a free man. But the people who were outside was in prison, not him. So this is what I believe in freedom, and every emotion belongs to you. So nobody can take your freedom away. Nobody can
love
take
that.
anything away from you. Belongs to you.
Absolutely love that. Let's move forward. You love traveling, do you?
I love traveling. Yes.
All right. We can do an entire episode on traveling, but I like to take you down a different type of traveling down memory line. Go back to when you were growing up as a young boy. You know, when we're kids, people around us, family, relatives, neighbors, teachers, friends always ask us, "Hey, Mal, what do you want to become when you grow up?" What was your answer to that question as a young boy?
I had no idea. I had no idea until I was about maybe 30 years. I had no idea what I want to do. My parents always wanted to educate me and
Mm,
to become a doctor or an engineer or some professional, PhD.
mm-hmm,
And I was just following what they wanted me to do. But I had no idea what I wanted to do
mm-hmm.
until I was maybe in my early 30s or mid 30s.
We'll get to that in a moment. That's a very good point. I'll remember that. So let's stay to when you were growing up. When you were growing up, what was your relationship with school? Did you love school or did you hate school?
No, I love school. Yeah. I was educated in Sri Lanka.
Uh-huh.
The time that I was in Sri Lanka was a beautiful place, a lot of freedom. As a child, I absolutely enjoyed my life in Sri Lanka as a child. It's a beautiful place to
Oh,
grow
yes.
up.
Beautiful country. Absolutely. What
Yeah.
was your favorite subject in school?
Sorry?
What was your favorite subject in school?
I liked all subjects. I liked everything. Maths, science, physics, religion, language. I'm not very good at languages, but yeah, I love everything. I love everything that I studied.
Did you have one that you liked more than the others?
Not really, no. What I most likely, I like sports.
Which sport?
Um, I play cricket, tennis, squash. I have been, as a teenager, I've been a medalist for dancing.
Oh,
I've got,
wow.
I'm an artist. I do flower arranging. Yeah, I do many, many things.
Football? No?
Sorry, no,
Foot.
not football.
Okay.
Mainly cricket. Cricket.
Oh,
In Sri
yes.
Lanka, we are cricket. We play cricket.
Yes, yes. Was there any subject in school that you did not like?
Not really, no. I liked
Mm,
everything. Everything was just, yeah, everything was fine.
okay. Imagine that we were in the same class, say around grade 10 or 11. What kind of student were you? Were you the shy one, the nerd one, the quiet one, the chatterbox, the superstar?
No, I was a very quiet one. Yeah,
Mm,
very
okay.
quiet. I don't talk too much. I didn't have too many friends, so I'm very quiet. I keep it to myself. Yeah.
Mm. And going to school, were you popular with the girls?
Going to school, no, not at early stage. Maybe it's when I was about 14, 15, 16. Yeah, I was very popular. Yeah.
Ooh, what made you popular?
I don't know. Being a teenager, you love to explore your feminine, the feminine energy. So I had loads of girlfriends in Sri Lanka.
Ooh, wow. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Do you remember what was your very first job and how much you get paid? First time you worked in your life?
My first job was actually in London.
Okay.
I came here to study when I was about 21, and I was a foreign student. So I had to work very hard to earn the money. To pay the overseas fees were very high than a
Mhm.
local student. So I had to do, during my summer holidays, I had to work. I used to do two jobs actually. My first job was a security officer. I was working in the night as a security officer during summertime. And in the daytime, I used to work as a lab technician in a laboratory. So I
Wow.
was doing two jobs at the same time. Yeah. Also, in my spare time, I had an old car. I was a minicab driver. So I've done two, three jobs in
Ah,
the summertime at the same time. I was working 24/7.
wow, amazing. So when you first moved from your native Sri Lanka to London, UK, you said 21 years old. How challenging was the initial few months in the UK and did you go by yourself alone or did you have family, relatives?
Now, my mother came here for 1 year to stay with me because she knew that if she
Mm,
doesn't come to help me settle down, I
mm.
might go astray because I love girls. So she wanted to make sure that
So she gets you married right
she,
away? Yeah.
yes, she protects, yeah, she wants to protect me from girls, and then she wanted me to put in the right track to study. So I came here with her, and after 1 year, she was okay. She felt confident that I was going to be in the right track. She left then. After that, I was all by myself. London, when I first came here, it was an amazing country. I loved England. I
Yeah.
love this culture. I love the freedom. I love everything that's here. So that was really fascinating. And also, the freedom that you have, here is just so beautiful. So I
Around
love the music, the Beatles, the reggae music, and the culture, multicultural society, and absolutely, London is a beautiful place. I
around
love
what
it.
year was that?
Sorry,
Around what year was that?
1973, I came here.
Oh, wow. Beautiful time indeed. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, that
Hmm.
is the Beatles time, and it was
Oh,
beautiful.
yeah.
London is beautiful.
Oh, yeah. It was a different world back then. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Um, let's move forward. There's a saying that says, change your story, change your life. So when you were at your lowest point in your life, how did you change your story to change your life?
Well, I never allowed myself to go down because I'm a person who, when I go down, I like to go higher than what I was before.
Mm,
I never allow myself to go down and stay down because there are always opportunities to go up again better than what you were before. I find that every failure is an opportunity to learn and be successful. I
absolutely.
feel the failures are the pillars of success. So I've never been scared of failure or going down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when you came to the UK, what were you studying?
I studied physics, maths, chemistry,
Mm,
and biology. And then I went to university and then I studied biophysical science, my first degree.
mm,
After that, I did a postgraduate diploma in management, DMS, operations management. After that, I did an MBA in London, Masters of Business Administration. Uh, After that, I went into looking for jobs. I looked for what 3,000 job applications I sent. I couldn't find a job. At
wow.
that time in 1970s, early 80s, um, people wouldn't take of people of my color for high positions. That was the law. That's the way it was. I had to
Really?
accept that. Absolutely, it's not like now. Now it's different. In
Wow.
70s, early 80s, you wouldn't get a job in a high. You could get to make coffee and be a little, small job, but with all the qualifications, you would not get a job, proper job. So I applied for around 3,000 jobs. I couldn't get a job. I gave up the idea of doing work for anybody else. I started my own business, and then
Beautiful.
I
What
became very successful.
what business did you start?
I started buying a property first, old property, and then I refurbished it, rented it, to uni students. And from there, slowly, slowly built up, bought another property and another property. So I bought quite a lot of properties after that.
Mm,
After that, I fed up of being a landlord because during that time, landlord was a very bad man, you see.
yeah.
There was no rent. laws those days. Landlord could just chuck people out on the street, just like that,
Really? Wow.
There were no rent laws at that time. So landlord was like thugs or really bad person. So after doing all my education, I didn't want to be a bad person, to be a landlord. I was a bit shamed of being a landlord. When people asked me, what's your profession? I couldn't say I'm a landlord. It was a bad thing. So then I
What
had to change my profession. Then I wanted to do something else. Then I was looking for franchising because I couldn't get a job. Then I was looking for franchising. So I found a German company called Portas, a very big franchise in Germany. Um, so I became a franchisee of that business. So I
what
sold
business was
some of my
that?
properties.
What
It's
business
a
was that?
kitchen and yeah, it's a kitchen door replacement.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's a great business for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So instead of replacing the whole kitchen, you just replace the kitchen doors, so it looks like a new kitchen, and you can do that in a one day, and it's cost less than half price. So that is a good franchise. So I learned all the manufacturing, installation, how to get leads, marketing, management, administration, everything through that franchise. But at a price because I had to sell some of my properties
Sure.
to do the franchise. You see, yeah.
Wow. How long did you do that?
Uh, I did that for about 2 years. But unfortunately, we didn't get enough support from the franchisor because
Mm,
they're in Germany, we are in the UK. So really, that didn't work out. I couldn't really make a good profit. So I was really losing money and I was selling my properties to pump money into the franchise business. Then I lost my entire property portfolio, you see.
mm.
So I became really poor again after losing all the properties.
One thing you said,
Uh,
I found curious. You said you didn't like to be a landlord. When people asked you, what do? You didn't say I was a landlord. What was your answer?
well, I didn't know what to answer really. I was so ashamed to be a landlord,
An investor, no?
So no, I didn't even know the meaning of investor. I knew I was a landlord. I had many properties renting apartments. Uh, but I was so ashamed to be a landlord at that time. And then I was then happy to say, I'm a franchisee. I have beautiful franchises. I got some credibility to myself by being a franchisee, but
Wow.
it was not making profits. I was making losses. By being a landlord, I made a lot of profits. I was able to buy a house like every year, you see, a
How much
huge
were
property that I
how
could
much
buy every year.
how much was an apartment back then in London? Just to get an idea.
Oh, my first house that I bought was, you won't believe it, 10-bedroom house in Hammersmith. Okay, 10-bedroom house in Hammersmith, 3 floors, £17,000. I bought it in 1976.
How much do you think
Seventeen thousand pounds.
how much do you think this would be worth today?
I mean, now they must worth about, I don't know, 3, 4 million pounds. Yeah, after 40 years. Yeah.
Even if you were to keep one, you would be set. You know what I mean? One of the properties.
Yeah, I had so many properties like that, but I sold everything and to do this franchise and I lost the franchise business after that.
I'm curious, how
So I
much?
came down again.
Yeah, so 17,000 for a 10-bedroom house, three-floor house. How much was the average pay back then?
Uh, it was about, I don't know, 50 pounds or something like that a month rent, week rent. So it's very cheap. So you get less rent, but prices were cheap. Things were different. The economy was different. So, but I was still making a lot of money from that. I was able to save money by renting the bed seats, in the house. So I had 10 rooms, 10 bed sheets. I converted them into 10 bed sheets. I lived in one bed sheet. I rented out 9 bed sheets. I made money from there. I collected money, refurbished it, and then improved it. Then, after improving it, I could sell it to higher price. And then the property equity market went up. So I had the equity to buy the second property and the third and the fourth and so forth. So I just, yeah, keeping the property business and raising money through equity, I was able to buy more and more properties.
How did you get into that? Did you have any experience in the real estate market? Did you know someone was doing it? Or you just, you know what?
None whatsoever. None whatsoever. None whatsoever.
Wow,
Just started because I had to
fascinating.
stay somewhere in London. Yeah, I just thought the best way to stay in London is to buy a property and then rent it out. So the rental pays the mortgage and your expenses. I mean, that's I just nobody helped me. Nobody mentored me. I just did it by myself, everything.
So you're saying back then,
If I had carried on my property business without going into franchising, today I could have earned at least 100 properties like I had before.
you'd be a billionaire.
100
Yeah.
could be, yeah, definitely.
So
But
it's,
then that wasn't, I don't know, that wasn't my passion. To be
yeah,
a billionaire is not my passion. I
yeah.
want to do something that really makes my heart rich, my soul rich.
Oh, I love
Making
that.
money is really not my passion.
Mm,
I want to do something that really enriches your heart.
yeah. So back then you were
That's
saying,
much more richer than being a billionaire.
oh, I'm completely with you, brother. Absolutely, absolutely. One thing I always say, I want to be very rich in experiences. I want to be the richest man in experiences. I want to experience everything because I see the world as a buffet. Try all these dishes, all these experiences, all those things. But one thing that really blows me away is when you said that back then rent in London was £10 a month.
It's very cheap, really cheap, really cheap.
Let me ask you a question. What can you get today in London for £10? Seriously,
Nothing, nothing,
a cup of coffee?
nothing. Yeah, everything is expensive. You can't get anything.
The same rent today that was £10 back in the 70s. How much would it be now?
Oh my God, it could be quite a lot actually. I mean, £10 was just a bed seat. The
Mm.
same bed seat could be now maybe five, £600,
How much would
a
be
month or more,
a
or more.
how much would be a one bedroom apartment?
One bedroom apartment in London in this area could be around 1,800, £2,000, in
Wow.
Hammersmith.
And back then it was what, £20?
Back then it was much cheaper, really cheaper, much
How
cheaper.
how much were people earning back then? Roughly. What was the
Well,
average salary?
my first wage was about, I think, £50 a month, being a security officer. I was earning £50 a month. That's a lot of money for me. £50 a month. I was working 7 days a week, 12 hours night, as a security officer. Yeah, my first wage packet was about £50. Yeah. And
That's
I was very
amazing.
happy.
That's amazing. So you did that for a few years. So how were your parents back home in Sri Lanka reacting to the fact that worked hard, you studied hard to get a degree, but then you couldn't find a job in your field, and now you're fixing kitchens, you're buying and selling properties. How are they thinking about that? What was the reaction?
No, they were happy because as long as they can see that I'm making money, I'm progressing, I got property, I got business, I got knowledge. So they
Mm,
were happy. They didn't mind. I mean, and then to satisfy them, I got MBA, Masters in Business Management. So that was okay. They
yeah,
wanted me to do a PhD. I got an offer to do a PhD at the London Westminster University on franchising, but I declined it and started my Tantric Journey business.
wow.
I had an offer because to do a PhD on franchising, but that was a
Ah,
7 year part-time job that could have been absolutely boring for me
oh, I
to go
can
to the
imagine.
corporate world and become a friend, in the franchise business.
How would have your
I
life
love the work that I do now.
Absolutely. How would have your life been different if you had gone down the path of getting your PhD?
I would have been very depressed, very unhappy,
Mm,
because I would be doing something that it really doesn't resonate with my heart and soul,
yeah,
working in the corporate world.
yeah.
Because you need to do some work that really enriches your heart and soul,
Yes,
then you get the best out of it. There's no
absolutely.
point doing something just to make money. You need to enjoy what you're doing. Yeah. And you
Totally.
need to believe in what you're doing and to
Correct.
be good at what you're doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. So how did you end up leaving all of that? Did you leave everything behind to follow to get into the tantric massage business? Tell us about that.
Well, how I started the tantric massage business is after I lost everything. Basically, I lost my franchise and everything. Then I became a minicab driver after that. And at that time, my wife became a qualified beauty therapist, so I helped her to set up a beauty salon. So then she started a beauty salon business, and then she got busy. Then she told me that she's getting busy, and we didn't have enough staff at that time because we were not connected to the EU. So the labor market was really, really bad in the UK. We had to bring people from Sri Lanka, and that was really difficult as well because of the visa problems. And the UK didn't produce enough qualified beauty therapists to do the work to the quality that we needed.
Mm.
So my wife worked on her own, and then she asked me to become a massage therapist because I was good at massage. So I did all the massage clients, and she did all the beauty clients. So we started the business like that. So when
Mm.
I was doing massages, after that we employed beauty therapists. We had 40,000 clients in our database, and we had about 20 beauty therapists after that. We built up a massive, one of the biggest salons in London. So during this work, I was working as a massage therapist in London in my salon, in the beauty salon. And I was working about 95% women and 5% men. I had a big difference between men and women, how they behave for the massage.
Ah.
Some women felt sad, they felt angry. 5% of people had reactions, whereas men, they were very happy. They just enjoyed the massage and went home and came back again. So, because I was very curious why women behave differently to men, you know, not all the women, but just some women. So, that was really curious for me. Then I want to study about emotions and women. So, I studied with a person called Brandon Bay, that I really learned how the emotions get stored in the body cellular memory and how we can transform these negative emotions into positive emotions. So, this sort of knowledge led me to Tantra and Taoism, really to understand about how the body holds trauma, and then how to transform this trauma into positivity to enable you to reach your highest potential in life, to have better health, wealth, happiness, relationships, and so forth. So that's what that drove me after working in a beauty salon massage in the salon. Uh, I saw there was a need in the marketplace for to help people who suffer with trauma with bodywork, because at that time in the year 2000, uh, there was no such thing. What I'm teaching, what I'm talking was completely new. Nobody understood what I'm talking about. Nobody understood what I'm talking about because
Mm.
there was no expert somatic psychologists at that time. They only came very recently. I learned this stuff from 1995. I started researching this subject from 1995, how to release trauma from bodywork.
Wow. So you said the men were happy, the women were hangry. What do you think caused the
Not all,
women?
not all women. Some women, not all women. Maybe about 3 to 5% of the women, they felt emotional when I'm doing the massage. Like when you do the massage, they started crying. I thought, why are they crying? Men never cry. They fall asleep or they relax. Why would a woman cry? Like, if somebody gives me a massage, I wouldn't cry. You
Mhm.
know. But I was very curious. So I then had to find out why I thought something wrong with me. Actually, I thought I made them cry by doing something wrong. So I was very curious. I really had to study. Basically, my whole life was spent after that learning about women, because being a man, it's very difficult to understand a woman
Mhm.
emotions or their psychology. You have to really study. You need to learn about women to understand, have a better understanding about women. So that was my life journey. Basically, my life journey was understanding women. I spent
What
all
a
my life
beautiful,
just doing that,
what a
and I'm still
beautiful
learning.
path. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What do you think made those women, this minority of women, become emotional and cry?
Because they are holding trauma in
Oh.
their body cellular memory due to whatever that has happened in the past. And my massage is not just a massage, it's a different type of a massage, which I didn't know. There are two types of massage. You can just touch someone to massage, or you can touch someone with deep higher consciousness. It's the consciousness touch that can trigger emotions and trauma. And
Mm.
I didn't know that. So my massage was with high consciousness, and that can trigger trauma. And this triggered trauma, they then feel it and they release. And I didn't know how to explain what's happening to them, and they couldn't explain what's happening to them either.
Wow. So as you dived deeper into understanding women, did you find anything that completely you were not expecting, or did you find things that completely blew your mind away, or did they confirm
Oh,
what you always thought about?
when I started my learning from the greatest masters in the world, my mind completely got blown away because the things that I thought I knew. I had many girlfriends even in London and in Sri Lanka. I thought I knew about women. I felt so basically ignorant about women. I knew nothing, you know. When I learned Tantra and Taoism, I felt I knew nothing about women, you know.
Mm.
And also, what I really learned, not from my greatest masters, I have treated 3,500 women over this last 25 years. Um, I find my greatest teachers were my clients, who are female clients. They were my greatest teachers. I learned everything from them. From my masters that I learned Tantra and Taoism was just the technical things, but real stuff, emotional stuff, I learned from my clients. I learned mostly from the clients who complain about my work, not the people who complimented me. Every complaint was an opportunity for me to learn and better myself. So that's a great knowledge that I have that I'm sharing with my students now, what I've learned.
Awesome. Wow. So, one question I have to ask you as you were talking, very fascinating. You said you got into the path of diving deeper to understanding women. And at the time, I understand you said you were married. So, on one hand, you were married, you were building a successful business with your wife. And then on the other end, you were going deep into understanding women and understanding what triggered them and how to really make them release whatever trauma they had. How did your wife react to you getting deeper into the tantric world and understanding women and making women happy?
You see, my tantric work involves yoni massages. Yoni massage is vaginal massages, and women are naked. They're experiencing orgasms in front of me. And I'm doing very intimate work, including love, intimacy, and sexuality. Okay. All the focus is all these things to get to help the client to get in touch with their past trauma and release. So I was actually giving a presentation to some journalists who came for some PR work. There were about 10, 20 journalists, and there was a video crew as well videoing my presentation. And this same question was asked by one of my journalists, one of the journalists who came for my presentation, because they want to basically shock me. They asked me the question, hang on a minute, you do such intimate work. What does your wife think about it? Does she know? You
Yeah.
know? So I asked him, why don't you ask my wife? She's right next to you. And
Okay.
my wife was sitting right next to the journalist. So all the cameras went to my wife then. And then journalists asked this question, and my wife told on camera, I trust my husband 1000%.
Wow. Love that.
Okay. Now, what is the secret? The secret is if you are in a relationship, whether you do this tantric work or whatever the work you do, the most important thing is to make sure that your wife, your partner is happy and safe and trusting. So you have to earn the trust. Okay. Once you earn the trust of that person will leave you alone, give you the freedom to do the work you want to do. It's your passion. Because if my wife has restricted me, I would have been very, very unhappy, depressed person.
Sure.
So we've been together for 35 years. As a
Wow.
Tantra practitioner, I've been married for 30 years and with the same partner. Now, to be a Tantra teacher, anywhere in the world, there is no Tantra teacher who is married for 30 years with the same partner.
I'm
It's more
sure
like
of
they
that.
have
Yeah.
30 partners every year. Okay.
Oh, even
So
more than that. Yeah. Wow.
so
That.
the key is to be able to be honest with yourself and still and do the work that you are passionate about,
Mhm.
but earn the trust from the people around you, not just your wife, your children, everyone, they support you. If you're honest and if you can earn their trust, everyone will trust you. Not just my wife's parents, my wife's relatives, my children. Everyone supports me, and my students and my class. Everyone supports me. It all depends on how you earn the trust from people by being honest with yourself within you.
Mhm.
Of course, that I make mistakes. I'm a human being. Mistakes can happen during this time, and then every mistake you have to then analyze it and then learn not to repeat again. That's how you learn.
Sure.
That's how you become better and better.
Absolutely. Wow. Fascinating. The question I want to ask you now is what tips or what is your secret to building an unshakable trust and a relationship between a man and a woman?
Basically, being able to trust yourself first.
Mm,
Because if you cannot trust yourself, you cannot expect anyone else to trust you. Trust yourself with who you are, what you do, everything. Once you trust yourself, then you will project into other people that they will trust you then. Basically, be honest with yourself because a lot of people are living a lie. They are living a lie to satisfy the environment, satisfy their parents, satisfy their work colleagues, you know. But this is not, they are living a lie, you know. The most important thing is to live in your truth. It
mm,
doesn't matter what you do as long as you live in your truth. You are connected to yourself. You know what you're doing. You know who you are. And you are doing something that satisfies you and the humanity. Once you establish that, you will earn the trust from everybody else.
wow, beautiful, beautiful. Has there been ever been a moment that you get distracted and tempted and by the work and it was difficult to resist?
In which way?
Let's
Which
say
work? My clients?
yes.
Yes, yes, of course, of course. Imagine that you're with a naked, beautiful woman. She's having orgasms in front of me while I'm doing the session. She starts touching me, you know. Of course, you get aroused because I'm a man. I'm not a robot, you see. So how do you deal with that? How I teach my students as well how to deal with that is to hold the space to your client with your consciousness, you see. So when you get aroused, when you feel excited in front of a woman, don't deny it. Accept it in your body and just simply breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth few times, and that desire will get dissolved, and then you can go back to your work to achieve what the client wants to achieve. Of course, you can get derailed all the time during this work, but you can then get back to the track. We have got tantric techniques, how to help the client, how to help the therapist to get back to the track. I teach all these things to my students.
Makes sense. So when your clients are men, are you also performing the same tantric massage on men? Are the men also naked when you perform that?
Sorry, I don't work on men. I only work on women. I teach
Oh, I
women
see.
how to work on men. Yeah.
Oh, I see. I see. I see. Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. Okay. Okay. And wow.
I have trained one of the greatest healers on this planet, both
Mm,
men and women.
mm. Do you also help men and women overcome some trauma that can prevent them from performing at their best when they're in intimate session with their partner?
Yeah. The most important thing that I teach men is to help them how to separate the orgasm and the ejaculation. They
Mm,
are two different things.
yes.
They are two different things. Okay. And two problems that men have when they get older, they have erectile dysfunction, they have a premature ejaculation problem. With these two problems, you cannot satisfy a woman. So the reason why they have erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation is basically due to the trauma embedded in the male prostate. So we teach women how to do the male prostate massage for the men to release the trauma in the prostate, and their erection comes back, then they learn how to separate the orgasm and the ejaculation. Okay. So this is not like a massage parlor. What they do is they masturbate the man to ejaculate and they lose their life force. We do completely opposite to that. You see, we help the man to retain the chi energy so that that chi energy makes them empowered, make them feel young and look strong and live long and be an amazing lover. So that's what I teach men, how to separate the orgasm and ejaculation. And also to be an amazing man, because if a man who has got a lot of testosterone, they become a macho. You see, he's not a good match for a woman. We need to then increase a little bit of, reduce the testosterone a little bit by doing the prostate massage. You increase the estrogen, so he becomes a very balanced, amazing, good man. You know, which a woman would resonate with that man rather than with a macho man. So women will resonate with a balanced man. So that's what we teach men. How we do that is by raising the man's consciousness. So
Mm,
that's what we teach men, and that's the treatment I teach women how to achieve what men has to achieve, raise their consciousness. What we do with women, women are sleeping sexually because they have been abused by men, raped, abused by men for thousands of years through the culture, through the religion, their sexuality is suppressed. So they are not really sexual, you know. So they have suppressed their sexuality through the religion and the culture and so forth. So
mhm.
what I teach them is to raise their sexuality, which is called Shakti in Sanskrit. So I help them to increase their sexuality, give them the freedom to open up, to be themselves, to empower them. And by doing that, their sexual energy can heal men because they have a lot of love in women. So we need to bring their love and sexual energy to be able to help men to open their heart. See?
Mm.
So these are the things that we do training for both men and women. Women to be a Shakti, which is sexual energy, and men to raise their consciousness. So when you have a conscious man and a sexual woman, that's a very beautiful partnership.
It's like divine love. It's like that's when two
Yes,
people become one, so to speak.
absolutely. Yeah.
You know, you mentioned something else that's very powerful. You said we need to separate ejaculation from orgasm. And this is where multi-orgasm comes into place. This is the ultimate graal for
100%.
every
Yeah.
man. Is that something that is achievable realistically by most men? Or what do you have as a man, for example, to do to reach that level that you can orgasm multiple times while you can control your ejaculation?
When I do my workshop, we train you
Cool. Okay.
100%. Any man can do that. Any man.
Oh, wow.
Any man can. You see, any man can learn to separate the orgasm and ejaculation, and any woman can learn to orgasm and ejaculation at the same time with my practice.
How long does it take for a normal man to achieve that?
My workshop will take about at least 12 months. I do
Okay.
series of workshops. It will take 12 months to achieve, but my workshops are about 3 weeks. So you come 1 week in a month, another week in another month, and another week in another month. So three separate weeks around this year. But during the each workshop, you got to do some homework, you know,
Oh,
and we need to give sessions, sorry, 40 sessions, and then you need to receive 20 sessions. So during this 1 year, you will give and receive sessions, and that healing takes place. Then you will actually achieve what you want to achieve.
what do you mean give and receive sessions?
You have to, when you do my workshops training, it's all about opening your chakras. Chakras are something to do with your endocrine system, your hormone producing glands. So you can open your chakras by giving sessions to other women and also receiving sessions from other women. Both are healing because to do both, you need to open your chakras. So after doing my workshops, which are 1 week workshops, 3 times, after doing that, once you do the practice, we have therapists and students all over the world. So you get a partner from a different country, and then you practice with these people. They will do case studies on you. You'll be doing case studies on
Oh,
them,
wow.
and then if you do these case studies, then you'll achieve what you want to achieve.
And when people that sign up for your workshops, are they open to doing that with complete strangers or they prefer to do that with their own partners?
When they come for my workshop,
Yeah.
uh, they always tell me they're not going to go on the journey at all. They know what I teach. They say, I'm only coming for the level 1 workshop, which is a clothes on bodywork, fully clothes on, and you're just touching the body where the trigger points are. Mostly women, they say, Mal, don't even think about me going any further than this. You know,
Yeah.
men, of course, okay, they are ready to go everywhere. But men want to start from my level 3.
They go straight, the
But
jump,
women,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So women always say they wouldn't even dream about going any further than the clothes on bodywork.
Mm,
So after they join, 95% of the people, they go on the whole journey.
holy,
So they
wow.
start from the level 1, then they do level 2, level 3. It's amazing journey because basically they find it's impossible not to because they see the value of my powerful training, 1 week training. When they come for 1 week training and once they do the case studies, they just go on the whole journey. And I'm not telling them to go, they just go by themselves. I don't have to do any marketing, nothing. Only marketing I had to do is to get people into my level one. That's all I need to do. The rest happened by itself.
I have a cheesy question. So when complete
Yeah.
strangers come together, at first they're all reticent, and then after going to the program, they see the value, want to go to that. And over the years, have you had any happy endings? And by happy endings, I don't mean what you think. I mean any couples, relationships forming as a result of two people meeting at your workshop. This is what I mean by a happy ending.
Yeah, this happens. Yeah, this happens.
Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah. Our students get together,
Yeah.
they then have a relationship. Then of course, because they are both working on this field, they feel insecure, they break up, they
Yeah.
find another relationship. These things happen. Yeah. They all have to come to me, then they all come to me for my mentoring and advice and things. Yeah. This is we are like a big family. We have huge network of tantric journey students all over the world. And I'm available 24/7 on WhatsApp for whatever they want, whether it's something to do with my training or personal life. Every complete support system is there. Not just myself, we have an entire WhatsApp group and they support each other. We have a beautiful, it's like one family. It's
Wow.
absolutely like a one family.
I can see that. Fascinating. Fascinating. And your workshops are they also online or are they strictly in person?
Well, in person, I have it in London every 2 months. In Germany, in Berlin, I have probably twice a year. In Spain, I have once a year. And also my workshops in London, I have these Zoom cameras and things, so I can teach people online. So they can come on Zoom to see my live workshop demonstrations and my training from anywhere in the world. Yeah,
Wow. When is your next one?
on 1st of November.
Okay, that's a bit tight, but hey, next year, who knows? Who
Yeah,
knows?
January. I have every 2 months. Yeah, every two
Okay,
months.
okay, we'll
You
talk
can come
after.
online and learn.
Okay, we'll talk. Well, listen, I've been blessed to talk with incredible people with incredible stories, but your story is right up there among the top five most captivating, most fascinating stories to date. Wow. Can't wait to meet you in person and hear all the stories, the juicy stories and all that. Wow. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So you mentioned something else that you said that not only your wife is okay because she trusts you, you trust her, but also her family, your children, her parents.
Yeah.
How do they
Yeah.
react to the kind of work? Do they know exactly the kind of work you do, or you tell them something different?
No, my children are highly educated. One
Mhm.
is a doctor.
Mm.
My two other sons are one daughter is they're managing 100 properties. My other two sons are they just finished their masters. One got
Good.
first class honors in masters at UCL. So they are highly intelligent people, and they all know about my work because they go to the
Beautiful.
internet. So as my wife is a beauty therapist, is very intelligent. They all know the work I do, absolute all details. We have no problems.
You're a blessed man, my friend. You're a blessed man. Wow, that's
Because
amazing.
what it is, you see, because they're highly intelligent, they know the work I do is not sexual.
Mm.
Even though you touch the yoni, the vagina, lingam, penis, these are not sexual materials in the body. It's only the religion and the culture that explains to you as they are sexual. But if you look at any medical dictionary, medical book, you will see these all the body parts are made with the same material. You see, same blood, flesh, nerves, ligament, tendons. It's only the culture and the religion that
What's your
separate these
religion?
body parts. Absolutely makes it different, makes it sinful to touch these areas. But these areas also hold trauma or have tension, that needs to be addressed. Nobody on this planet is doing the work that I'm doing. I'm going really deep into the places where it needs working on.
Yeah.
And there is no way that anybody can say this work that I do is sexual. It is using sexual energy, totally non-sexual. Even touching the
Wow.
vaginal area or the penis lingam area, it is totally non-sexual because men are crying, women are crying, they're releasing
Wow.
emotions and the trauma. This is not the happy ending that you go to a massage parlor. Completely opposite work I do.
It's
Can you imagine when you're doing a
transcendental.
massage of a lingam or the male prostate or a yoni massage with one's vagina? Women are crying. Their emotions are releasing. They're getting triggered. Their emotions are releasing. And they become free after that. Most illnesses they have, uh, they get help with these problems, dysfunctions they have, they become functional again because the work that I do help them to promote more blood and more energy to these sexual organs. then blood and energy knows how to fix it. We don't need any medication, external substances, nothing, no drugs whatsoever. We have all the chemistry we need in our body to fix ourselves,
So
only
the
if we
work,
allow it to happen.
wow. So the work you do is transcendental, and it has healing properties. Do you have any examples? Of course, not personals, but of patient that you had that while going through your workshops were able to heal some of the conditions, for example.
My God, I have treated 3,500 clients. I can spend 1 week talking to you about
Wow,
the
love
client
that.
stories, 1 week. So many, so many. When you imagine 3,500 problems I've helped client to solve. I'll tell you one of the biggest problems that I really fascinated me when I first started my work in year 2000 or around that time. I had a young girl, 21 years or 19 years old girl, came with cervical cancer,
Wow,
you
wow.
know, with cervical cancer. And I treated her for nearly 1 or 2, no, nearly 2 years. She came every month for sessions with me. Today, she's nearly 40 something, happily married with children. She has never taken any chemotherapy, nothing. She has no
Amen.
cancer whatsoever. She hasn't taken any medication. She only had sessions with me for a couple of years. So this is one of my greatest achievements. Actually, she has given a beautiful testimonial in my book as well, called Emotional Detox book. And yeah, she's still my student. She's still helping me to do my work as well. She's doing some work for me.
That's
So there
fascinating.
are great stories that I can have.
Wow.
That's just one. And there are many, many, many stories that I can tell you. Many broken relationships that I've helped them to mend, because I tell all my clients, please don't divorce because you have your children, you got your property. Divorce is not the answer. You have a pair of gloves, use it on your man, do a prostate massage, he'll be an amazing man. The man who is going to beat her up and abuse her every day, he becomes an amazing man. What she needed was this pair of gloves and my training. That's all.
Divine sex heals everything. You know what I mean? It brings people together.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Wow. It's one of the
absolutely.
most
Making
powerful
love is the most
forces.
beautiful healing energy. Yeah,
It's the most
it is
powerful
done
force in the
correctly. But the
universe.
problem is people don't know how to make love. That's the problem. That's what I teach. They
Mm.
have no idea how to make love. You see, so that's what I teach. Yeah,
You're doing a tremendous favor, not just to your clients, but to families. That's truly
yeah,
transformational because you're
absolutely.
saving
Yeah, absolutely.
families, you're bringing
Yeah,
families together, you're
yeah,
creating couples. Amazing.
yeah,
And you're
absolutely. Yeah, and
healing them.
also helping them to heal their past trauma that makes them ill and dysfunctional and depressed. Make them functional. You know,
Wow.
and they become creative. Yeah,
That's amazing. Wow. Oh, wow. What a fascinating conversation. One thing that really stood out, that really caught my attention, is that you mentioned that you're able to help and heal one of your patient or client that had cervical cancer. How is that possible?
yeah. Well, I'll tell you, first of all, the science really doesn't give a lot of information about the emotional connection with the cancer.
Mm,
Okay. So, what I found with my 25 years work that I have done, treating 3,500 clients, I've treated many clients who had cancer at
wow.
different stages. Of course, you need to avoid the stage 4 cancer, which is spreading stage that no, you avoid because it makes it worse. But if it's stage 1 stage at the beginning, this work that I do could be very, very helpful. So let's talk about how I believe in how a cancer cell develops due to development of acidity in the body. Acidity happens due to what you eat, drink, breathe, lifestyle. Okay, so the body develops acidic environment in the body. And also, that's not the only reason. There's another reason. Due to emotions, trauma,
Yes.
physical abuse, psychological, all these things that have happened in your life, or what you brought from your ancestors, which is in your DNA. Okay. And this is called emotional toxics. So when you have the physical toxin due to what you eat, drink, and breathe, and when you have emotional toxic due to your past trauma, these two toxics together make the body environment into an acidic environment. In an acidic environment is a good environment for bacteria, viruses, even cancer cells to grow. The research shows cancer cell cannot grow in an alkaline environment. So what we need to do in the body is to disperse some of the physical toxics that you have in your body due to going on diet, exercise, and so forth, then this will remove the physical toxics. But then you also need to take the emotional toxic from the body to reduce the acidity in the body. So that's why we need to do the work that I do, tantric Thai body work, to get the emotional toxics out from the body as well, and also from the genital area. So when you take the emotional and physical toxic from the body environment will slightly turn into an alkaline environment. In an alkaline environment, cancer cell bacteria, viruses cannot grow. This is proven research, through research. So this is my training is all about turning our body from an acidic environment to an alkaline environment by going on a proper food intake and also doing exercise and so forth, and also becoming good on emotional balance, you see, by getting rid of past trauma and making you more in a positive emotionally. So these two things will make our body into an alkaline environment that makes us live long and also live happy and more healthy.
Wow,
So this is
fascinating.
really how my work can help people. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Wow. You know, I always knew that what we eat plays a big role. What we eat, what we not only what we eat and what we drink, but also what we think, the thoughts we entertain, the stress we entertain in our lives. All of those can make our environment toxic and our bodies
Yeah.
alkaline and toxic, which is make it fertile for cancer. But do you have any tips for people to make their bodies more alkaline as far as the psychological aspect, but also as far as diet? What can they do to really make their bodies more alkaline?
Yeah. Take if you Google, you will see a whole series of alkaline food. You know, so and there's a whole series of acidic food. So avoid the acidic food and use alkaline food. Exercise and live a spiritual life.
Hmm.
Uh, that's for the physical toxic side of it. And for the emotional toxics of it, try and do yoga, meditation, and do this body work that I teach, and yoni massages and male prostate massages to get rid of the emotional toxics from the body cellular memory. So by removing physical and emotional toxic from the body will slightly turn into an alkaline space, which the body become very healthy and happy.
Wow,
So
amazing,
this is what I teach, and this is what I have done for the last 25, 30 years.
amazing. And you
And
said,
there's a huge demand, the work that I do, huge demand.
oh, absolutely, absolutely, because at the end of
Because
the
there
day,
is not a single person, there's not a single person on this planet who hasn't suffered fast trauma.
yeah, yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the environment within our body that dictates and that determines the kind of disease we have.
Absolutely. I mean, the biggest death in the world is cardiovascular problems. Cardiovascular problems happen due to stress, you see. So stress is due to not being able to manage your day-to-day life, you know, which is due to emotional problems and physical problems,
Mm.
physical toxics and emotional toxics. So if you get rid of these two toxics from the body, you become very healthy.
Absolutely. Wow. Fascinating. Fascinating. So, so you said you've dealt with many patients with cancer, right?
I don't call them patients, I call them clients. Nobody's
Yeah.
ill.
Client.
They're
Yes,
all
exactly.
perfectly
Client.
normal people. They're
Yeah.
just clients, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And you've been able to have success with most of them?
Oh, yeah, most of them, yeah. Absolutely. Because what I'm teaching is not rocket science, very, very simple. This is not rocket science. It's so simple, if they find it difficult to understand or believe what I'm doing. It's that simple. Because of the
Wow.
simplicity, people find it difficult to understand or believe what I'm doing. How simple it is? I use only three keys to do this work: breath, sound, body movement while I'm doing the body work.
Mm.
That's all. That's not rocket science. Breath, sound, body movement while I'm doing the body work. And these three keys will help the person to trigger, at get in touch with the past trauma, trigger and release and
How,
transform.
how important is breathing to your work?
Very important. Absolutely very important. Breathing is very important because breathing that transform your inner self.
Mhm.
make you from sadness to happiness. I mean, you can do a test if you want, right? I'll give you a test, right? If you don't believe me,
No, I believe you.
somebody makes, let's say somebody makes you angry, right? Really, really angry. Okay. What you need
Yeah.
to do is what people normally do is then if you get angry, you shout at the person even louder. And that person will shout at you louder. And then you will hit him and he'll hit you. There's violence. Okay. Now see, let's have a look at another way of dealing with this. Somebody makes you angry. Number one, you feel the anger first. Don't deny it. Feel the anger. And then multiply this anger by 100 folds. So you are feeling angry more than what is actually making you angry.
Mm.
Okay? So now your entire body, every part of your body is angry, not just one part. Your entire body is vibrating with anger. Okay? Now, after that, you get in touch with your anger in the body and just breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. 3 to 4 times. That's all. 3 to 4 times by looking into the eyes of the person who is making you angry. Looking into the eyes of the person who is making you angry. What happened with this breath? Your molecules of anger that you have in your body, cellular cells, will get transformed and disperse the anger into opposite of anger. What is the opposite of anger? Is love. Okay. Now what will happen in your body? The person that you got angry, you are actually creating love. And you're looking into this person's eyes and you're sending a wave of love to his eyes. And what happened to that person who was angry? Love is a positive energy. Anger is a negative energy. That positive energy that you transmit through your eyes will transform his anger into love. And then in few
Mm.
minutes, the guy will drop his knife down, gun down, anger down, will come and give you a hug and say, Guy, I'm sorry, I love you. You know? So there is no
Beautiful.
violence at all. You can do this test if you don't believe me. Anybody can do this test. You have to do it exactly the way I tell you. Feel the anger, feel in the whole body, breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, person's eyes. That's all you need to do. The rest will take it by itself.
So
And you
you,
can do this any situation. Anger is one, fear is one. Even if you're fearful of something, do the same thing. Sadness is the same. Every emotion dealt with the same way. Now, once you practice this work, I do this work in seconds. If somebody makes me angry, I process it in seconds. It doesn't take me minutes. I do it in seconds.
wow, fascinating.
So this is ancient knowledge that we have completely lost this knowledge,
So much,
you
yes.
know.
There's so much wisdom from the past. We have the arrogance to believe that we are much more advanced than our ancestors, which couldn't be further from the truth. Civilization in the past were
Absolutely.
way more advanced than us. We, in comparison, look
I think so.
like the apes, you know?
Absolutely. You know, the science is only 200 years old.
Mm,
Tantra is thousands of years old, you know.
yeah.
Unfortunately, that science doesn't acknowledge the work I do because I haven't been able to prove it scientifically. So only if I can prove scientifically, then only they will acknowledge my work. But this work has been proved for thousands of years.
But listen, brother, there's no need to prove it because, the
There's no
results
need to
speak for
prove it. I don't
themselves,
want
you
to
know?
spend time proving this. Yeah.
Exactly. The results speak for themselves.
The results is proof. I don't need to go out and do
Yeah.
research to do a
The
PhD
happiness in the
to prove
people
my
you
work.
bring, the lives, the families you help bring together, you help save from divorce. That is
Absolutely. Yeah.
that is the biggest proof.
And and I'll tell you, my business, 50% of my clients come through recommendations. You know,
I'm not surprised.
that speaks for itself. Yeah. 50% clients come from recommendations. So this is not a thing that you sell, people buy. I just talk about it. That's all.
That's the best business. Just share your story, your experience, speak from the heart,
Absolutely.
and that's it.
Yeah.
That's also what I do. Yes, absolutely. Love
And
that.
also, it's not rocket science. It's so easy to learn.
Yeah, yeah. So what's next for you?
Well, my next thing is really I want to develop this work. I want to basically, I was a practitioner, now I'm teaching. Now I want to teach other people to teach, you see. I want to set up a lot of schools all over the world. I can teach online, I can teach from London. Uh, I want to set up a lot of schools. The Clothes on Bodywork, my level 1 school, which can be accepted any country in the world because we are doing body touching the body while they're wearing clothes. So we can do it in Middle East, we can do it in any country in the world, they will accept it. So I want to teach anywhere in the world. Anybody who is interested, I will go to that country, I will teach them, and I will help them to set up their business. That's why I want to do franchising.
Wow.
I train them, we can go 50-50 profit, until they really establish themselves. I will give my full support anyone who is interested in setting up a school anywhere in the world.
And what are the requirements for someone to qualify to be able to be one of your franchisees?
You have a heart that can be open.
Love that. Love that. Okay.
If you do that, the money will flow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of the money, what is the investment required for someone to get into to get their own franchise?
I think realistically, you need to spend about, including marketing, business setup, everything. You need to have at least minimum between 5 to 10,000 pounds.
That's it.
Between 5 to 10,000 pounds. Yeah, that's it. That's what you need. Yeah.
So that, but also they also have to have funds to rent a facility that's over and
Well,
beyond that.
that's 5,000 pounds. Yeah. Okay. So the money is actually spent by coming to my workshop and learning, because
Oh, I
if
see.
they're coming from overseas, you have the fees to pay. Fees about, to learn everything, 2,500 pounds. Then they need to do case studies, the accommodation, the food, the meals, staying here.
Oh, okay, I see.
All this costs money. So basically, this is the cost, accommodation and staying in London with
Mm.
me to be trained. Once they're trained, that's why it will cost 5 to 10,000. But they had to do 40 case studies. They had to receive 20 sessions. So we have workshops. We have case study weeks every 2 months. We have lots of models who will participate in the case study sessions. So when they come to London, we supply accommodation, we supply models, we supply training, we supply everything. They just have to come and stay with us. We have a beautiful temple in Temple, London. We call this Tantric Journey Temple. A beautiful temple in a beautiful nature. You don't even know that this is London. You think this is Bali or Thailand or somewhere where we work.
Beautiful. Wow.
Uh, yeah,
Amazing.
we have a beautiful spiritual place. So they come here, they learn. We have accommodation. We have where I teach in the basement, and we have 4 apartments above there. We got plenty of accommodation. So you can use all these facilities. This is where the cost is really to learn. Is the cost. But not only you're learning, you're healing yourself as well. You see, you're healing yourself and you're learning, and then you will then start a school, and then you will go to your country and you set up the school. I will come to your country. I will do the first workshop with you, and then after that, next workshop, I will come and supervise. You'll be doing on your own.
And they can set up the school starting even in their own home, for example.
Sorry, on there.
They can start the school first of all, even in their own house.
Yes, yes, but you need a space that you can teach, depending on how many people you want to teach. Whether you want to teach 3 students or 20 students. So even there, they can do it from home. If they have a space, living room or wherever, they can do it from there, depending on the number of students they want to teach at a time. Yeah. Or
Nice.
they can rent a space. There are a lot of places that you can rent.
Interesting. Very interesting. Wow.
I mean, 10,000 pounds is really not a lot of money, because even if you do one workshop, we charge 900 pounds per workshop. So if you get 10 students, you cover your cost.
Yeah, exactly.
9,000 pounds straight away.
Yeah.
So for the business wise, it's really viable. I haven't put any profits into this at all. I just want to share my knowledge to help people to develop their own business, to heal themselves. The 10,000 pounds, when I said there's no profit in it, at all.
Yeah.
I just want to share my knowledge with the whole world.
Aren't you concerned about, sorry, not sorry, sorry, let me rephrase that. Are you capping the number of practitioner that you want to train? Because at some point there will be saturation in the marketplace.
No, you see, you will never saturate the marketplace,
Mm,
because we have so many billions of people in this planet.
yeah.
You will never be able to saturate in your lifetime. It's not going to happen. And I'm not worried about competition either. Of course, a lot of people will learn and compete with me. I'm not worried about that either. Because if they learn from me, compete, that's also good for me, because they are helping other people.
Sure, nobody can compete with you because you've been doing it for 40 years, but the person is just starting out. It's a different story.
Yeah. If they compete with me, I'm happy. What they're doing is something good. If they learn from me and if they compete with me, I'll be very happy. I
Mm,
don't mind.
yeah, yeah, okay. That's interesting. That's very
I'm not
good.
scared of competition.
No, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. It's and I know you're not afraid of competition because you've established yourself as I wouldn't say a guru because I don't like this word, but a true world-class expert in your field. And
Yeah,
you
that's true. Nobody will have the experience and the knowledge that I have on this
sure.
planet as
Yeah.
a Tantra Dio teacher. That's including my teachers don't have the knowledge because they haven't done the volume of clients that I have done.
Mm-hmm.
My experience comes from the number of clients I have done with consciousness.
Yes, absolutely. Wow. It's fascinating. Seriously, Mal, this has been one of the most fascinating conversations I've had in the last 4 years and almost 400 episodes. So kudos to you, my brother. Kudos to you. I'll definitely, when I get to London next year, definitely will drop by. Your office is in London, right?
In London, yeah.
I'll definitely reach out to you and who knows, maybe I'll go to your program, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, wow, awesome. Now let's start wrapping things up. To finish off, I'd like to ask you another series of rapid fire questions, but this time on advices. Ready?
Okay.
What's the
Mhm.
best? I'm sorry. What's the best piece of advice you received so far in your life?
To be myself.
Mm,
Because you cannot be anyone else to satisfy anyone else.
hmm.
You have to be yourself.
Is that what you
It
felt?
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what other people write about me, talk about me,
Mm,
uh, perceive me. As long as you know who you are,
be true to yourself.
that's
Yeah,
what that matters.
love
True
that.
to yourself. Yeah.
What's the worst piece of advice you received so far in your life?
What's the worst piece of advice? You see,
Yes.
my problem is I don't listen to people's advice. I listen to myself.
Ah, okay. That's a good
So
one.
sometimes, yeah, sometimes I I wished I had good advice from people. You know, I always listen to myself and I go and make mistakes and then I learn from it. My biggest advice at the moment is my wife, you know, and I
Mm.
never listen to her.
I hope she's not
And
listening.
then I make mistakes and then I learn through these mistakes.
Is
And
your wife
also my other advisors are my children, you see. They
nice?
also advise me and I don't listen to them.
Yeah, you listen just to yourself and God.
Yeah. And my other advice come from my students and my clients, you see. I
Mm.
listen to them. I listen to them because I have to listen to them
Yes,
because through that listening, I improve the quality of my work and my teaching, you know.
beautiful. Love that. Imagine that you were blessed with a time machine. You can go back in time and sit face to face with an 18-year-old Mal. What's the number one piece of
Yeah.
advice you would give to him now, knowing all that you know now?
Yeah. Get in touch with your passion.
Mm.
Don't follow anybody's advice. Just follow your passion. You know, when I was 18 years old, instead of going to university, how should I study Tantra?
Oh, wow.
Imagine the number of experience I would have had now,
Yeah.
you know?
A good 10 years more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you have,
So whatever the passion that you have, you know, as a late teenager, you know, whatever the passion you have, follow that. And then
mm,
we as parents need to support, you know, adults must support that passion.
mhm, I agree. Do you have your own podcast?
I don't have my own podcast. No. That's
What's,
where you come in.
yes, and I'm here. I'm honored to that. But I have a question. Why someone like you hasn't started your podcast yet?
I never have the time for marketing or managing my business. I'm so busy
Uh-huh.
teaching and healing clients, you know.
Mm,
So because of that, I have never had the time to do anything about marketing. I know my competitors are doing beautiful marketing, digital marketing. They are showing themselves as absolute experts, you know. But now I've decided that because of the competition that I'm having, people are telling me, Mal, you need to stop teaching and do some marketing and managing your business. So now I decided not to teach every month, but to teach every other month. And then every other month, I will do some marketing and managing and do whatever the podcast or whatever you want to do, I'll do it now. I have every other
Beautiful.
month free.
Beautiful. Imagine that you have your podcast and your podcast is very successful. And today you're interviewing the most special person, the most important person in the world, and that is yourself. You're interviewing yourself. What's the first question that you want to ask yourself?
What do you want to achieve in life?
And what's your answer?
To be happy.
Mm, love that, love that, love that. The last question is my favorite question, and that is, what is the smallest thing you've done in your life? And by small, I don't mean something small. It can be one thing that has had the greatest, deepest, most profound transformational impact on both your life and business. For example, for me, it's been starting my podcast. What about you, Mal?
I think starting my property business,
Mm,
you know, starting my property business, I started very small and then I developed it. And again, because of lack of management ability or being ashamed about being a landlord, I diverted myself from property to something else. What I could have done was if I had about 100 properties in London, I would have been totally financially independent to do whatever that I want today to develop the tantric journey business.
oh, with 100 property in London right now, I would have been a billionaire. you
Yeah,
know?
and that could have been really been a very strong position to
Sure.
to do it with this work, not just in London, globally. I would have had enough money, finances, and capabilities of expanding that work so quickly, all over the world.
Speed, absolutely, absolutely. If someone wants to connect with you, what's the best way to do so?
You can WhatsApp me. That's the best way. WhatsApp me.
What's your number?
Uh, plus 44 7956 568 227.
Love that. Repeat it one more time for people that are not listening.
Plus 44 7956 568 227. That's in the
Beautiful.
UK.
Awesome. I'll put in a show note. What's your website?
Website is tantricjourney.com.
Beautiful.
Tantricjourney.com.
And you also have a very successful YouTube channel.
Yes. If you go to the Tantric Journey website, on the top right hand side, you have got the YouTube icon, hundreds of YouTubes there with
Mm.
about over 100,000 subscribers. And yeah, it's a very busy YouTube channel,
Yeah,
which has been there for nearly 20 years now.
last time we checked when we talked last week, you had 110,000 subscribers and you had one video that had reached 101 million views. So
That's
congratulations on
right.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Thank
Now
you.
it's very welcome. Now it's time for you to turn those views into money and clients. You know what I mean? And that's where I come
I
here.
never thought about that
Yeah, exactly. We'll talk after. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
because making money wasn't my on my head. You see, all my head was helping people to transform their lives. That's why I never got into any marketing or making money. I wasn't thinking in those terms until you came along.
Ah, see, that's how the universe works. Connecting it to the right people. Everything happens for a right time, for a reason at the right time, you know? Listen, Mal, I'm absolutely delighted. I'm honored that we connected. Love your story, love your passion, and most importantly, absolutely love your impact, what you're doing. Seriously, you're giving me a smile. You have a very beautiful, warm smile that and a very smooth, soft voice that I can listen to you and your stories for hours. I can't wait till I can actually, when I come to London, sit down with you over a nice glass of wine, a cigar,
Absolutely.
a steak, and we have some amazing stories together. And I'm actually interested to take care of a program myself, to become a better person myself, to heal some of my traumas and become the best lover I can be as well. So
Of course, yeah. I'll introduce you to some amazing therapists in London, my
I'm sure
students
of
that
that.
I've trained personally.
I am looking forward to it. Listen, my brother, I salute you. You're a true leader with a heart. Keep
Thank you.
shining your light. Keep blessing the world, your presence. Right now, the sun is coming and making you shine,
I know.
literally, literally and glowing. Uh, keep Keep blessing the world, your presence, your impact, your smile, your gift. You're a gift yourself, my friend. Stay safe, stay awesome. God bless you, and talk to you very soon. Take care. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.